What if I told you that right now, without recording your own voice, without a professional microphone, and without spending a single dollar, you can generate voiceovers so realistic that your audience will not even know it is AI? Not just any AI voice. I am talking about a voice that speaks in your accent, your Nigerian accent, your Indian accent, your American accent, your African storytelling voice, whatever accent you need. Google AI Studio's latest TTS update can now deliver it. And in this video, I will show you exactly how. I'll walk you through the updated interface step by step, reveal the hidden settings that most people completely scroll past, show you how to get any accent you want without any accent option in the settings, and show you the exact setup for tutorials, African folk tales, horror and creepy storytelling, and even full podcast-style multi-speaker content. Welcome to Learn with Mnet. This is where we learn to make AI work for us, not the other way around. Let us get into it. Timestamps are in the description, but I strongly recommend watching from start to finish because the settings you do at the beginning will affect your final results. Open your browser and search for Google AI Studio. Select the very first result. Now, if you're on mobile, the interface might look like a lot is happening at first glance. Do not let that overwhelm you. We're going to take this one section at a time, and by the end of this video, you will move around this platform with complete confidence. The first thing you will notice with this update is a brand new feature called Quick Start Templates. These are pre-built studio setups, each already configured for a specific type of audio content. This is one of the biggest changes in this update, and once you understand how to use them, your workflow becomes faster, cleaner, and more consistent. There are several templates on this page. Let me break down the 3 you will use the most. The Everyday Assistant. This is your go-to template for tutorials, narration, and solo storytelling. It opens in multi-speaker mode by default, but switching to single speaker takes just 2 seconds. I will show you exactly how. The Energetic Co-host, built for podcast-style conversations. 2 voices, natural back and forth energy, organic dialogue flow, perfect for interviews, educational content, or any script with 2 characters speaking. The Master Storyteller. This one is for African folk tales, horror stories, creepy narratives, and atmospheric storytelling. Deep, cinematic, commanding. When we test it later in this video, you will hear immediately why it works so powerfully for this kind of content. Think of these templates like preset recording studios. The atmosphere is already configured. You walk in, customize it for your content, and start generating. And here is the key thing. Every single template is fully adjustable. The defaults are just a starting point. You are always in control. Let us open the Everyday Assistant template. It opens in Composer mode. That's the multi-speaker layout. You will know you are in it because you'll see an Add Speech Block button with a plus icon. We need to switch this to single speaker mode. Tap the text icon at the top of the interface. On mobile, it looks like a page of text. On a laptop or desktop, the label is written clearly beneath the icon. The moment you tap it, the Add Speech block disappears. You are now in single-speaker narrative mode. 1 voice, 1 continuous performance. Perfect for tutorials, step-by-step guides, folk tales, and solo narration. To switch back to multi-speaker at any time, tap the Composer icon, the block icon right next to the text icon, and the dialogue layout returns instantly. Now, before you paste a single word of your script, we need to sort the settings. This is the step most people skip. They paste their text, hit run, and wonder why the voice sounds generic and flat. Let me save you that experience. Tap the settings icon at the top right of the interface. The first thing you'll see is the model selector. It will default to Gemini 3.1 Flash TTS Preview, the newest model available in 2026. And honestly, it's impressive. It now supports over 200 audio tags, giving you director-level control over every word your AI speaks. But here is what you need to know before you decide. It's still in preview, meaning it's not fully stable yet. In my testing, it sometimes pronounces some English words incorrectly, especially uncommon ones. If you use it, keep your words simple and always listen before you download. It will improve over time. For this tutorial, tap on the current model, which is set to Gemini 3.1 Flash TTS by default. This will open the full list of models. From there, scroll down and select Gemini 2.5 Pro Preview TTS. It gives more consistent and reliable results, and it's the one I use most of the time. Now that we've had our model selected, the next step is the speaker settings. Tap on it, browse through the available voices, and choose one. For this tutorial, I'll be using Leader. You will notice it now shows Current because I've selected Leader as the active voice. Right above this, you will find the Director's Note, 3 settings that fine-tune the delivery. Style, the overall emotional tone. Options include vocal smile, newscaster, whisper, empathetic, and more. I'll keep mine on empathetic. Pace, the natural rhythm and speed. I'll leave this on natural. Accent. You will notice there isn't a direct option for Nigerian, Ghanaian, Indian, or many other regional accents here. Instead, you'll see options like American Gen, British RP, Australian, and others. The Gen simply means general, a neutral, standard version of that accent. That's completely fine because I will show you how to get any accent you want, even if it's not listed here. For now, just leave this on American Gen. Now here is the setting that most people scroll completely past, and it's one of the most powerful things in this entire setup, the audio profile. It's a simple description that tells the AI exactly how you want the voice to sound. It doesn't just adjust the tone, it shapes the entire performance. Here is the audio profile I'm using for this demo. Name, Leader. Voice, Nigerian English female. Warm, confident, and clear. Accent, Nigerian English. Pace, steady and clear. Slow down for step-by-step instructions. Build energy at key reveals. Tap X to close speaker settings, then X again to close the full settings panel and return to the main interface. Back in the main interface, you will see 2 text fields above the script area, Scene and Sample Context. These 2 fields are often overlooked, but they are actually one of the most powerful parts of this entire setup when used correctly. For this demo, I am setting it up for tutorial content using a Nigerian accent as an example. Before we paste anything in, let me quickly explain what both of them do. The scene tells the AI where this recording is happening and who the voice belongs to. Think of it like a film scene description. You are setting the environment, the context, and the purpose of the recording. The sample context is like your style instruction. It tells the AI how to read your script. It controls the tone, pacing, and overall delivery, just like the instructions you would give a voice actor before recording. Think of it like a reference guide. Similar to how you use a reference image to guide AI's visuals, this guides how the voice should sound. Now, I will start by pasting in my sample context. Here is the exact sample context I use for my tutorial recordings. Speak warmly and clearly throughout. Slow down deliberately for every instruction so viewers can follow along easily. Next, I will paste in my scene prompt. A warm, professional home studio in Lagos, Nigeria. The host is seated comfortably, relaxed, and confident. She is recording a YouTube tutorial for her community. And this is where the accent control really comes in. When the AI understands that this recording is happening in Lagos, Nigeria, in a Nigerian home studio for a Nigerian audience, it naturally adjusts its delivery toward Nigerian English. Combined with the audio profile and sample context, this helps guide the AI to use the accent you want. You are not selecting it from a drop-down, you are giving the model the context it needs to perform correctly. Once both are set, go ahead and paste your script below them. You may also notice tags in brackets within the script, like pause, short pause, or excited. These are audio tags. You can use them to control specific moments like pauses, emotions, and emphasis. They are optional, but they give you more control over the final output. Now, hit run. With this update, the generation speed is much faster, especially if you have a good and stable internet connection. You can generate up to about 5 minutes of audio at once, which is roughly about 700 to 1,000 words in a single run. Just make sure your network is stable and let it process. Once it finishes generating, the audio plays automatically.
Hope you're already getting value from this. I know this update changed a few things, but just stay with me. There's more you'll find really helpful.
And there it is, a clean Nigerian English accent generated right here in Google AI Studio. No Nigerian accent selected anywhere in the settings, just the right scene, the right sample context, and the right prompt working together. This is what it really means to work with AI tools. Not just use them, but guide them to deliver exactly what you want. If the first result is not exactly what you want, simply hit run again to generate a new version. On the free tier, you get about 5 to 6 generations per day, so use them wisely. And once you're satisfied, tap the download icon below the player to save your audio.
Moving forward, let me show you another template and how to set it up. And this is a part I know many of you will find especially interesting. If you create African folk tales, horror content, creepy narratives, or any kind of atmospheric storytelling, this template is going to completely change the way you work. It is called the Master Storyteller. Now, before we touch any settings, Google already provides a sample script and a generated audio here. So the first thing we want to do is listen to that sample. It gives you a clear idea of what this template is designed for. Let us play it.
The old house stood at the edge of the moor, its windows dark, save for a single candle.
You heard that, right? That voice, that weight, that atmosphere. Deep, slow, cinematic. The kind of voice that pulls a listener into a story and keeps them there. This template is designed for storytelling style content with a slower, more cinematic delivery that works especially well for African folk tales, horror, and immersive narratives. Now, let us go ahead and configure this for storytelling content. Tap the settings icon. Confirm the model is set to Gemini 2.5 Pro Preview TTS, then tap on Speaker Settings. The default voice here is Charon, deep and commanding. We'll keep that as it is. Under the director's note, you'll see the default settings: Whisper for style, Drift for pace, and British GB for accent. Leave all of these as they are. They work perfectly for this kind of atmospheric storytelling. Just to note, each template comes with a default setup designed for a specific type of content. You can always adjust the settings to fit your needs, but in most cases, it is best to start with the template that already matches the kind of content you want to create. For the audio profile, I will paste in a deep, resonant narrator of dark, mysterious storytelling. Once that is set, tap X to close the settings. Now, we will follow the same process. Paste in your scene, then your sample context, and finally your script. After that, hit run. Here is what my scene looks like. A dense, ancient forest on a moonless night. The only light comes from a dying lantern swinging slowly in the wind. And for the sample context, African Gothic horror storytelling. slow, deliberate pacing with long atmospheric pauses between scenes. The tone is deeply suspenseful, ominous, and foreboding. If you want prompts like this for your own content, you can use mine as a reference or copy the sample prompts available here in Google AI Studio. Then share your script with any AI assistant and have it tailor the prompt to match your style.
The village had been silent for 3 nights. Not the silence of sleep, but the silence of something watching and waiting in the dark. The elders spoke of the hollow baobab at the edge of the forest, the one whose roots ran deeper than any man had dared to dig. No one approached it after sundown. No one until Adaize. Her lantern flickered once, twice, then died completely.
Now, listen to that. This is what storytelling sounds like when the setup is done right. That depth, that atmosphere, that presence. This kind of storytelling delivery is not something you hear every day. This is the kind of audio that stops someone mid-scroll and makes them stay. If you create folktale content or atmospheric stories, you need to try this. And when you do, come back and let me know in the comments what you think. I would genuinely love to hear your experience. Now, let us configure this for a new style delivery using an Indian accent. To access the templates again, tap on Playground. This will bring you to the Explore Google Models interface. From there, select Speech and Music. You will now be taken to the model selection screen. Choose the latest model, Gemini 3.1 Flash TTS Preview. Once selected, it will open the Quick Start Templates interface. From here, select your template. For this example, I will be using the Everyday Assistant. Before entering any text, open the Settings panel at the top right and switch the model to Gemini 2.5 Pro TTS for more stable and consistent output. Next, switch to single speaker mode by tapping the text icon at the top of the interface. This ensures a clean, uninterrupted narrative delivery. You will notice the Add Speech Block option disappears, confirming the switch. Now, return to Settings and open Speaker Settings. For the voice, I will use IOD, though you can explore and select any voice that best suits your project. Under Audio Profile, I will define the voice as a clear, authoritative Indian English female news anchor. Then, under the Director's Note, Style, Empathetic, Pace, Natural, Accent, American Gen. Once everything is set, close the Settings panel to return to the main interface. Now, following the same structure, we will define the scene, then the sample context, and finally the script. Scene, a professional television news studio in Mumbai, clean, bright, and modern. Sample context, Indian English television news broadcast, clear, steady, and professional pacing. The tone is composed, authoritative, and credible. With that in place, paste in your script and run the generation. Once the process completes, the audio will play automatically.
Breaking news from New Delhi this evening. Authorities have confirmed the discovery of an ancient underground chamber beneath the historic Qutub Minar complex, believed to date back over 800 years. Archaeological teams were alerted early this morning after restoration workers noticed an unusual hollow beneath the foundation. Initial excavations have revealed inscribed stone walls, ceremonial artifacts, and what appears to be a sealed inner chamber that has never been opened. Senior archaeologist Dr. Priya Menon described the find as potentially one of the most significant historical discoveries on the subcontinent in the last 50 years. Authorities have cordoned off the area, and a full excavation is expected to begin within the week. We will continue to bring you updates as this story develops.
Did you hear that? Notice the accent. Precise, controlled, and natural. There's no Indian accent selected anywhere in the settings, yet the model delivers it convincingly through context alone. This is the real power of this update. You are no longer just selecting voices, you are directing performance. Once satisfied, download your audio. And if you are familiar with Indian English delivery, I would be very interested to hear your thoughts in the comments.
Now, let us set up the multi-speaker configuration, ideal for podcasts, interviews, and any content built around conversation. Head back to Playground. From there, select Speech and Music. Then choose the latest model, Gemini 3.1 Flash TTS Preview. Once selected, you will be taken to the Quick Start template interface. For this setup, we will use the Energetic Co-host, a template designed for natural back and forth dialogue between two speakers. Go ahead and open it. At first glance, it may look a bit busy, but do not let that overwhelm you. This is simply a structured layout where each speaker has their own dialogue block. First, and this is important, switch the model to Gemini 2.5 Pro Preview TTS. As mentioned earlier, this ensures more stable and consistent output, especially for multi-speaker generation. You'll notice I repeat this step, and that is intentional. Mastering these small setup details is what gives you consistent, high-quality results. For the model settings, you can leave the temperature at its default value. While you can experiment with slight adjustments during practice, the default setting already delivers reliable results without additional tuning. Tap Speaker 1. Select a female voice. I will use Akena. Audio profile. A female US podcast host, conversational, naturally engaging, and genuinely enthusiastic about every topic she discusses. Now, tap on Speaker 2 to configure the second voice. Audio profile. A male US podcast co-host, measured, articulate, and confident without sounding stiff. For the voice, I will select Karon. With that, both speakers are fully configured. Tap X to close the settings panel. Now, before adding the dialogue, we will define the scene and sample context. Scene: a relaxed and modern podcast studio in New York City. Soft ambient lighting, acoustic panels on the walls, and two microphones positioned across from each other on a small round table. Sample context: American English conversational podcast. Natural, flowing pace with organic back and forth energy between two hosts. Once that's set, begin pasting your dialogue. Structure it clearly using Speaker 1 and Speaker 2 labels and place each line into the appropriate block. Continue alternating between both speakers to build the conversation naturally. When everything is in place, hit run and allow it to generate.
So let me ask you something that I think a lot of people are afraid to say out loud. Do you actually believe AI is going to replace human creativity completely?
Honestly, no. And I think that fear comes from misunderstanding what creativity actually is. AI can generate, but it cannot feel the reason behind why something needs to be created in the first place.
That is such an interesting distinction because when I look at what some of these tools are producing right now, the images, the music, the writing, it genuinely moves people. So does the feeling of the audience even matter if the source has no feeling?
That is the question that keeps me up at night, and I do not think we have answered it yet. But here's what I know. The creators who are thriving right now are not the ones running from AI. They're the ones who figured out how to use it as a tool while keeping their own voice at the center.
Did you hear that? Two completely distinct voices, natural rhythm, clear interaction, and real conversational energy. It sounds like an actual podcast recording, and all of this is generated directly from your device. Once your audio is ready, you can take it further, import it into a lip sync tool, and pair it with animated characters or avatars to bring the full conversation to life visually. That entire workflow deserves its own dedicated tutorial, so let me know in the comments if you would like me to cover that next. So, here's what we covered today. The updated Google AI Studio TTS interface, how to use quick start templates, how to switch between single and multi-speaker modes, how to apply the right model settings, and how to use scene and sample context to achieve any accent you want. We also built a full storytelling setup and a complete multi-speaker podcast, all from a mobile device. The tools are here. The knowledge is here. What you do with it from here is entirely up to you. If this video helped you, give it a like. It helps more creators discover this content. Subscribe for more and drop your questions in the comments. I read every single one. I'm Len with Mnet. I will see you in the next one.